Hi, this is Nancy with Peace Coaching Worldwide. Thanks for stopping by today. I wanted to talk just a little bit about something that I realized a while ago and have been noticing how much it affects us, especially in our subconscious places in our brain. And that is that when we're born and when we're little kids, that we see our parents as our first deity. Our first God is mom and dad. Because why? Because they're geniuses. They know everything. They take care of our every wish and need, etc. Or at least most of them, we hope. And so that makes sense that we would consider them our first God, but they're not a God. And so they do things imperfectly, and they do things in a way that we get hurt. And sometimes they do things in a way that we get hurt a lot, which makes a pretty big ouch or a pretty big wound on our psychological skin when we think that our first deity is something that can't really care for us all that well, at least not consistently 100% of the time. And so it creates a wound. And a lot of times too, when people are raised in some kind of a religious way, and particularly Christianity, where they refer to God as God the Father, right? And I think of God the Father being like my human father, and my human father maybe left quite a bit to be desired. It makes it pretty hard to worship God the Father if I think that he's anything like my human father. And so, and a lot of times there can be a lot of damage with that, a lot of trust damage and a lot of really big pain of like, I don't want to think of God as my father. My father was really mean and like really hurt me a lot. And so being aware that when we're little kids and we don't know any better, we perceive our parents as our first God, and we can have that kind of damage. And then we grow up and we forget that that's what we thought. That is still tucked away in our subconscious brain. And that can cause difficulties with things like having faith, or, like I said, seeing God as a loving father, things like that. And so dethroning our parents from the position of having any kind of deity status with us is a big part of recovery work and what we need to do, because they are not God. They are not our God, and they are not anywhere near what they would need to be our God. And so it kind of ends up looking like my parents are just people who were involved in my procreation. They were doing their best. They did have a vested interest in me. And hopefully, I mean, really good, strong, loving parents have a very big vested interest in their kiddos. And that's good. They're just not God. And so, but it doesn't stop us from wanting from our parents the three big ones for us as the little kid in our heart. The first one being, I want my parents to be able to see me, know I exist, and see me and notice me. After they see me, do they get me? Do they understand me? And after they see me and understand me, do they accept me? Do they want me to be a part of their tribe? And so in that kind of little trifecta of what I want from my parents can be a motivating factor exceedingly strong for my entire life. And it might be something that my parents are never going to be able to give me because of their own issues, etc. And so part of the healing is recognizing my parents are not my God, and I am acceptable and worthy of attention and understanding and that camaraderie of community, whether they believe I am or not. And that is a difficult thing to let go of, and a difficult realization to have, that my parents are just people with issues that happen to be involved in my procreation. And, you know, they did their best, but it was never going to be perfect, and it never will be perfect. And that's okay, because they're just imperfect human beings who are doing their best. And sometimes their best is, and sometimes their best is okay. But it will never be the perfection that we need from a deity. And so food for thought about that, how do I see my parents, and what do I really either consciously or subconsciously really want or need from them, and they may very well be capable of not giving that very well at all. And so, but that doesn't make it true for me. That just because they can't love me well or give me the time, acceptance, etc., that I wish they could, it doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of it, and it doesn't mean that it's not true about me. So, being able to delineate between the two is one of the things that we work on when we're talking about differentiating ourselves from our family of origin. So, food for thought for today. Like and subscribe, and show me your comments. I'll be happy to take a look at those, and hope to see you soon. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.